The bow, of course, being the most important part of cello playing, in that everything that we do with the bow is what generates the sound you hear. So we're going to talk about bow distribution and a little bit about tone and the different places to play. Just a really basic start, talking about this palette that we have here. We have so many different colors to work with. And generally when we're starting on the cello, we're really focusing on keeping our bow right in the middle at all times. As we start to branch out from that, we realize there's so many more colors we can play with. Of course, there's the three main ingredients that come into tone, and that is distance to bridge, weight, and bow speed. The combination of those three elements is what makes different tones and different volumes happen. For example, I can play with a very slow bow near the bridge with lots of weight. That would be a loud forte, but it's also a very thick, concentrated tone. Whereas if I play closer to the fingerboard with a faster bow and lighter weight, the volume is the same, but the intensity is different, the tone is different. So we play around with those three different elements. So I'm going to be showing you a very simple exercise that you can do every day this week to really help hone in and focus on your bow distribution and what elements and what combination of those elements we're using to generate our tone. This is an etude that comes from the Opus 3 book by Sevcek that was arranged for cello by Faragher. And the theme, the tema, at the beginning is a very simple melody. I'm going to teach that to you now. It starts in fourth position on the A string with first finger, which is an E. We then cross to the D string to play a B with our third finger. That's the first bar. And then after that, we play a C with 4, and then a 1 plays the A. So the first two bars goes like this. Then we shift to first position, F sharp, and B. So those first 4 bars go like this. That last B being an entire bar into itself. Then the next 4 bars are very similar. They start the same way with the E to the B, C to the A. Now instead of F sharp, we go to G. G, F sharp, G. So the first 8 bars go like this. Okay, now the next 4 bars starts on an F sharp. We're staying in first position for the first few notes. B, G, E. Then open A, D, B, G. So those next 4 bars go like this. Then the next 4 bars, we shift to fourth position again, and we play B on the D string with the third finger, E on the A string, C, and then A. So all of that is in fourth position. And then we extend to C sharp, straight across to 2, which is F sharp, and then third position, first finger on a D sharp. Okay, so that section is the most complicated for sure. Okay, so those last few bars just... Okay, and then the last 8 bars are exactly identical for the beginning. Now we go to an E that's the melody. Take a few times to go back in this video and learn that. And then we're going to start applying some different ways of using that melody for bow distribution. So I'm going to get my metronome out. And I'm going to put my metronome on 76. Now the tempo you choose is entirely up to you as to where you are with your string crossings and shifting and everything. Keep in mind, the slower you go, then the easier it'll be in shorter bows, but the harder it'll be with using longer bows. So we're going to choose 76 for the purpose of today. There's our 76. Now I'm going to play the same melody every time, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the amount of bow that I'm using. So now I'm going to play the piece as it is written, and each note is a half note, except for the long ones, which are whole notes. So each note's going to get 2 beats of these metronome beats, and the whole note will get 4. So going like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward melody, and you might be asking, well, what's the purpose of this in my practice? Now, if you'll notice, when I was playing that, I was focusing. My eyes and my mind were focused right here on the bow. And if you'll watch that section again, you can rewind and see that every beat of the metronome either fell at the quarter point of the bow, the halfway point, the 3/4 point, or the tip. So basically we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was very carefully measuring my bow to keep a consistent speed. And then of course, as you can see, I played roughly in the middle with a pretty consistent weight as well. So now, once you learn that and get comfortable with that, we're going to change up the amount of bow we're using by saying how many bows per note that we're going to use. So what I just played was the theme as it is written. Now I'm going to leave the metronome at the same speed, and I'm going to do 1 bow per note, as opposed to 2 notes per bow, which is what I was doing earlier. So instead of this, now I'm going to do 1 bow for each of those notes. Now because I've changed the amount of bow I'm using, I have to change the bow speed because I'm still using a full bow for each note. So basically, instead of before where I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm now going 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So I'm going faster. I'm going to take off the beats here so that we don't get that downbeat sound. Okay, so that's the next variation, is doing 1 bow per note. Now, we can go back to doing the 2 notes per bow, which we did originally. And now, the next step is to then limit our bow yet again. So instead of using a full bow for 2 notes, I'm going to use a half bow for 2 notes. And how do I do this? Well, you can just watch, and very often it's easy to trick ourselves and say, oh yeah, I'm watching, and I know that I'm only going to the halfway point, but I don't want to have to think that hard about that. I want to be thinking more about how much speed and weight I'm using and my tone. So what I use is a plastic coated paper clip and just put it on the hair. And now I'm going to do the same exercise using, yet again, half the amount of bow. Here we go. 3, 4. Notice I'm going frog, quarter, then half, quarter, frog, quarter. So I'm changing the notes in the same place every time, keeping the bow consistent speed. And you'll see what happens when I don't do it right. This is the beauty of the paperclip. I can't lie to myself. I'm stuck. So it's good to try that exercise there. And then again, playing from here, from the midpoint to the tip. This is something we don't do as cellists very often, and it's a good exercise. 3, 4. So on and so forth. So again, I'm doing 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat. So I'm always keeping the bow at consistent speed. Now you'll notice the tone isn't the most beautiful sound. And again, I keep coming back to my idea about practice is really not to always generate good sound, it is to keep learning. And so by doing things like this, you're forcing your brain to really ask the questions, what am I having to do to make this successful? As you can see, I'm adding another paperclip now. I'm adding them at the third points. I'm going to do the exact same exercise, limiting the bow yet again. 2, 3, 4. And in the middle. And then at the tip. So on and so forth. So again, we're really focusing the brain by changing the different variables. We're making the brain think about what exactly we have to do. Now, you might be asking at this point, as this can be a very frustrating exercise, well, what's the point of all of this? And generally, we often hear as students, and all of us as students as the cello, we're always thinking about saving our bow. We hear that often, and that's something that we say, and we don't always explain or understand what needs to happen. By doing this exercise, you're going to really force your brain and your body to discover what needs to happen to save your bow. So for example, in a work like Dvorak's the second movement of the concerto, there's this beautiful line. Where you hold this beautiful long note. You have to wait till the horns resolve and keep singing. So being able to sustain and being able to focus your tone, it's all about that. So this exercise is a great one to incorporate into your daily practice, at the beginning of your practice, maybe after you've done a quick scale or something, and really tune your microscope, really dial in that magnification onto something so specific as just how much bow I'm using and how much weight and my distance to bridge and how those variables have to change. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you want to check out other videos that I've made, you can subscribe to my channel.